And welcome back to Fox Business Morning. We go beyond the wall this morning and pose this question. You're on a business trip in China, you lose your laptop, you don't speak Mandarin Chinese, and you can't find anyone who speaks English. You're stuck. So what do you do? Well, the man with the answer. Joining us this morning is Michael Sinclair. He is managing, or marketing director, I should say, with chinaONEcall. Michael, thank you so much for coming in today. So what can I do? What are my options if I've lost my laptop and no one understands English?
chinaONEcall is an interpreter service at the end of your landline, the end of your mobile phone, your cell phone. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week we operate. So you will telephone us. You will speak to one of our staff who speak perfect English, and they will then say, please hand your phone to somebody in the street, somebody at the business centre. They'll speak in Mandarin to the Chinese person, take the phone back, and you'll speak in English back to the call centre. Problem solved.
Very good. Now, your business is relatively new, is that right?
We started in January, effectively, so it's very new. Yes.
Yeah, very good. And how did you come up with this idea?
My son, who's my business partner, the operations director in China, speaks Mandarin. He's been in there for a number of years. And I was on a social visit, holiday visit, and he was in his city where he was living, and I happened to be in Shanghai, walking down a hutong, one of these little alleyways. And he rang up, we were just chatting, and I said, Greg, I'm lost, I don't know what I'm up to. He said, well, not a problem, stop somebody. And I saw a lady coming by, stopped her, I took out my cell phone, and I just gesticulated, and I said, gave her the phone, and she spoke, looked bemused, but she spoke to my son in Mandarin, and he explained I was lost and wanted the way back to the hotel. He spoke to her, found out what it was, I took the phone back, he explained the route, solved. And we realised this could be a business. and from that we developed it into not just for tourists but for business people. And
what are the advantages of this service? Is it just interpretation, or do you offer other
services? We also offer a translation service, so that we'll do translations by email. So you can be in your office in America. Before you even start, we actually operate from the UK and the US with in the US a toll-free number which diverts at our expense to China, so you can make your preliminary phone calls to...
Do you help with cultural differences?
Very much so, because part of dealing with Chinese people is understanding their mentality, how they tick. Things are slower, you need to get under the skin of the Chinese people you're dealing with first. There's a thing called guanxi, which is connections or relationships, and it's very, very important to establish a friendship and understanding before you go into depth of the business deals.
How much does a service cost? What is the charge per minute?
It works out as little as 75 cents a minute.
That's not bad.
Yeah. We do a start-up package which is $79, and the bigger packages are cheaper, etc.
Cheaper than taking an interpreter around with you, probably?
Significantly cheaper.
Yeah, and a lot easier.
A lot easier, and total spontaneity. You don't need to have planned it.
Right.
Can I tell you a little story about one particular...
We're running out of time. I wish we could, but thank you so much. And of course, with the Olympics coming up, obviously, that's the time for you to really push the business.
We are dealing in the UK already with the British Athletics Commission, and their athletes and coaches and physios are using the service, or will be using the service, so yes.
Very good. Help is just on the other end of the line. All right. Michael Sinclair with chinaONEcall, thank you so much for being